What is going on, everyone? It's GeneralTarheel bringing you the SDL Season 4 Week 4 battle versus Coach Friesh and the Eemnes Enteis. Now, coming into Week 4, we are still undefeated, going 3-0 after we beat Coach Loris and the Miami Heat as of Week 3. So we're looking to continue the streak, and Friesh has a very strong team by the looks of it, and I'll go through the roster for you right now. His team consists of Tyranitar, Salamence, Arcanine, Venusaur, Magneton, Piloswine, Mega Blastoise, Alakazam, Stoutland, Snubbull, and Buzzwole. So he's got a very strong team overall, in my opinion, and his Z-Crystal user, Salamence. Looking at the team prep, I was mostly scared of the Buzzwole and Salamence, and as you can see on the screen, I was very happy when I saw that wasn't a case that he brought it. And I'm quickly go over my team. My team consisted of an 8E Tangrowth with mainly HP and SpDef with a little bit of attack with Regenerator ability, of course, with Giga Drain, Earthquake, Hidden Power Ice, and Aerial Ace. Giga Drain just to get my health and whatnot. Earthquake was to hit some of his things like Magneton and Arcanine, because Magneton was kind of going to be a problem if my Coco kept giving it electric terrain. So I definitely wanted to bring AV Tangrowth for that, as well as the Alakazam. Hidden Power Ice, because I felt like he might think that Tangrowth's kind of free setup if he has D-Dance Salamence, because if he had a Z-Crystal, the knockoff wouldn't be doing much at all, and I would have to be either carrying the Hidden Power Ice like I do, or Rock Slide, so that's why I opted that. And instead of opting for knockoff, which I wish I did, I had Aerial Ace, because I was very scared of like sub-Focus Punch Buzzwole with Leech Life. That kind of tore through my team, if not just a Scarf variant already did. So that's why I brought that version of Tangrowth. And then next up I had a, well, I'm kind of out of order here, but I had a Milotic with Flame Orb. This was defensive Milotic, max defense with Flame Orb, in order to maximize my possible defense against Salamence and the Buzzwole. I had Scald, Ice Beam, Recover, and Haze. Scald and Ice Beam, of course, just for coverage, as well as Stab. Recover to get my health back, and then I had Haze in case I needed to reset stats on the Salamence, as well as the Buzzwole. Or if it was, say, a D-Dance, T-Tar, Calm Mind, Alakazam, anything of the sort. I just felt like it was very beneficial this game. And then next up I had the Latios. I had a Scarf Latios with Draco Meteor, Hidden Power Fighting, Psychic, and Tailwind. I had just enough speed to, just enough speed to outspeed a +1 Salamence after D-Dance, and then 252 in special attack and a little bit in defense. This was basically just to do a little work. I knew it was bait for a Pursuit T-Tar, but at the same time I wanted to make it happen. Hidden Power Fighting wasn't going to be much if he was a bulky T-Tar in Sand, but I felt like Sand wouldn't have helped him too much until you saw the team that he did bring. And so each Hidden Power Fighting would have been helpful, but Latios did a lot to his team besides Tyranitar. That's why I still wanted to bring it. And I needed an answer to Buzzwole to outspeed in case he was Scarf Buzzwole. So that was my reasoning for that. And then next up we had Dead Fred, my old Marowak, with 252 Adamant and 236 in speed, and split up between SpDef and HP. With the Thick Club, I have Lightning Rod, I have Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, Power Punch, and Earthquake. Basically I had this Choice Scarf Tailwind Latios in case it was going to go down or something of the sort. Then Alola Marowak could come in and actually do a decent amount of work for his team. But of course the main problem was defensive Intimidate Arcanine. So I did put Power Up Punch just so I could raise my attack if I wanted to go for more possible damage versus him. And then next up I had the Klefki Pranked. We have a SpDef Klefki, 244 HP, 204 SpDef with the Careful Nature, I believe, and 16 defense. We have Leftovers Prankster with Thunder Wave, Magnet Rise, Play Rough, and Spikes. Magnet Rise Klefki did take on majority of his team, that's why I opted to bring it. T-Wave is just helpful, of course, in case the Salamence set up, Buzzwole, etc. Play Rough just so I could actually hit stuff on his team, like the T-Tar and the Salamence, as well as Buzzwole. And then Spikes, because he didn't have that amazing of hazard removal besides Mega Blastoise, which normally doesn't always carry Rapid Spin. I'm sure he brought it versus me because I'm a very hazard stacked person, but just in case I brought Spikes. And then lastly I had a Workup Tapu Koko with Life Orb, Brave Bird, U-Turn, and Thunderbolt, and then the Workup. 236 special attack and then 180 Hasty, I believe. Speed boosting nature with 92 in attack as well. This was basically capable of sweeping his team after a few workups, besides that of the Piloswine or the Magneton. Mainly his two answers to Tapu Koko for this battle were either going to be the Venusaur or the Piloswine. I did a mock battle with a fellow League player, and he brought Venusaur, but I felt like Piloswine would have been better. And of course, Friesh did bring Piloswine. Grass Knot wouldn't have done much to Piloswine, so I didn't opt to bring it. But basically, after that, thing's weakened. Workout Tapu Koko does a lot versus team. And looking at the start of this battle, I wanted to lead Milotic, just in case that was Banded T-Tar. I wanted to go ahead and get my Flame Orb off, so I can get the burn and get my Marvel boost. And I felt like he might have wanted to opted to get up Stealth Rocks, just to like focus on my Lottie getting Defog in case I have it. That way he can Pursuit Trap it with T-Tar. So I definitely felt like Piloswine might have been a lead, or the T-Tar if it could do a lot of damage, or the Arcanine just for Intimidate to begin. So I did lead Milotic to start the battle, and he led his Mega Blastoise, and he opted to switch into Magneton. I just clicked Scald here just to get off damage to see what he was going to do. Even against the Blastoise, I felt like it was a fair play. And right here, I make the switch into Alolan Marowak because I am Lightning Rod, and he reads that and he goes straight into his Blastoise, which was a smart play by him. And I just go straight into Tangrowth here. AV Tangrowth takes on Mega Blastoise perfectly, very nicely. And he just tries to spam Dark Pulse and get a few flinches, but I just go right for the Giga Drain and get some decent damage off on Blastoise, as well as getting my health back. And then he opts to switch here right into the Arcanine, which is totally fine, because I made the proper double. Actually, no, I didn't make proper double. Why did I go Klefki there? By the way, I know this is a bunch of switching right here, and I ended up going my way with Alolan Marowak here. And he goes into the Intimidate Arcanine, and I click Earthquake, and he turns out to have the Shucka Berry. So that was very clever prep on his part. And he switches out again into Blastoise this time, as I make the double into Latios. But I didn't feel like I couldn't KO the Blastoise here, so I wanted to hard switch into Milotic. Better play would have been Tangrowth, considering the AV and whatnot, and Milotic is kind of taking a little bit more, and the flinch could have been a lot to matter, but I just recover off his Dark Pulses here, and then I make the switch into Klefki. Klefki takes on Blastoise pretty well, and here I go for the T-Wave just in case he was going to switch, and he shows that he's a mixed Blastoise, as again for another week he has Earthquake, and then he gets the read on me here when I go for Magnet Rise, and he opts to go for Water Pulse. A very clever play on his part. And now I get a free switch into Tapu Koko, and I freely click U-turn here in case he wants to go Piloswine, but he opts the T-Tar. So that's a easy switch for me, and I go directly into my Milotic. And we're just going to click Scald against this thing because that's the best move in the game. And we immediately get the burn on this T-Tar, as he shows to be a bulky Assault Vest T-Tar with Power Up Punch, was very interesting. He did point out that this took on basically my entire team if it all went according to plan, but of course Scald Burn's always going to affect that. And then Milotic can just completely wall it at this point. I'm just going to click Scald occasionally and then get my Recover so my health goes up plenty. I should have Recover stalled it a little bit more, because as you'll see, I'll just quickly go ahead and get the kill with Scald after this Recover turn right here. I should have just opted to get up or get off another Recover just so I could be at the majority of my health as I could. But I just opted for the Scald instead, which was kind of a misplay. And now he goes freely into Magneton here. And I go straight into Tangrowth, predicting like some other sort of move, I predicted the Blastoise switching again because the Alolan Marowak was obvious. But he clicks Volt Switch still, which was clever. And he goes hard Arcanine here. And then he makes another double. He's been making a lot this game. Into Piloswine when I go into Alolan Marowak. And I do opt to switch that so I can go in Milotic and get off the Recover that I need to get back my health. Because Milotic is a very important player, even though Tyranitar is still gone at this point. And he gets off his Stealth Rocks here on the Recover, which was smart on his part. And he opts to switch here into the Magneton. While I freely click Scald, and we do get a nice crit, so that lowers him plenty. and I just go into the little Marowak for the safe play, and he awkwardly decides to click Explosion, which was pretty interesting, because he was hoping I went into Tangrowth again. And then here he goes into Alakazam. Now I just decide to go into Tangrowth because Tangrowth basically walls this thing, especially goes for the Shadow Ball on a little Marowak for the super effective damage. I freely go for the Earthquake here, considering physical damage on Alakazam was smart, and the Arcanine's a very basic switch-in. And then I get the free switch from the Arcanine into the Milotic, where he just gets a free Morning Sun off. And I just get to click Recover at this point, because he cannot KO me unless he had Wild Charge. Even Wild Charge was a roll depending on how much attack investment he had, because Milotic is bulky right now with that Marvel scale. And he does opt to switch here into Blastoise when I just got off another Recover, because I didn't know what that Arcanine wanted to do exactly. And then I just feel like clicking Scald just to get some damage off. But then I was like, I don't want to risk it being a Rest Blastoise, so I want to make a hard switch here into Koko, predicting the Dark Pulse as before. And he makes a proper play of going for Water Pulse, and I get confused. And this was a misplay here. I clicked Work Up. I don't know why I did that. He could opt to stack his Blastoise and hit me anyways, but the Arcanine comes in, and of course it has extreme speed, so the Work Up didn't matter. I could have got a free Thunderbolt off on this Arcanine, which would have been very helpful. I just go into Alolan Marowak at this point, and I click Power Up Punch because I got greedy, figuring he'd switch, which was a very strong misplay. I should have just clicked EQ. I wouldn't have killed Arcanine, but that would have put it extremely low. But I decided to switch out Alolan Marowak and use it as fodder just to switch out on rocks one turn, because Milotic can just wall this Arcanine as I get off another Recover, as he opts to go Mega Blastoise again. And at this point, Milotic just takes on his entire team, and I just need to be careful with it. So I opt to drop the Alolan Marowak here, so I can get a free switch into Tang. And he does make the double, so he just goes in Arcanine. At this point, I go into my Scarf Lottie, and I just want to spam Psychic, just so I can get damage off. Because Dragon Pulse was a little too risky here, because I want this Arcanine gone. And he just opt for the double extreme speed damage. And right here, he goes into Alakazam. And this is where it gets interesting. I just wanted to click Psychic to, you know, get prior damage off Zam, especially in case it was Sash, even though nothing on my team one-shots it, even if I had knockoff on Tang and wouldn't one-shot the Alakazam. But I just want to get off prior damage, that way I didn't have to worry about this thing too much later on. And Latios didn't really want to do too much health-wise, because Tangrowth and Milotic can both take on Mega Blastoise and Piloswine, as well as Zam at this point. So I just want to get prior damage off with Latios. And he shows that he's faster than me, so this means he's Scarf, which is for sure. So I go Tangrowth here, and of course he switches. He just goes hard Mega Blastoise. I had no reason not to click Giga Drain here, as I do, and we do get the outspeed the following turn and get another Giga Drain off. Mega Blastoise goes down, and now he goes into Piloswine. Wants to get off that Icicle Crash damage. Tangrowth will eat it plenty, as well as we get off a nice Giga Drain. And I need to make a switch into Milotic at this point, so Tangrowth does not go down. He just clicks Icicle Crash again, and I get a free Scald off here whether or not he wants to switch, and he opts to stay in. So get nice Scald damage off as he goes for EQ, just trying to go for the maximum damage. And I get to just recover here and click Scald again the following turn. Or I think I get greedy and click Recover one more time. Not really too greedy, it's the smartest play. Yeah, I do. And then after this EQ and the burn damage, I will kill this Piloswine with another Scald. And now, basically at this point in the battle, Milotic can take on Alakazam, but there was a few things I wanted to do. One, I knew Tangrowth, if he's just, you know, Choice Scarf, almost max speed, because he has to be in order to outspeed my Scarf Latios, and as well as some special attack, then if he's max special attack, Milotic gets two-shotted here. So I didn't really feel like going for Recover. That's almost kind of like too much of a risk. One, he gets a chance of the Spadef drop or a crit, and the crit would just basically kill me after like a Recover the following turn. And the rolls would be just too close if he was max special attack. So I just opted to go for Scald here to get off damage, because I knew Tangrowth could just go into Giga Drain and Earthquake at this point and it would kill Zam. So as he goes for the psychic here, we take minimum damage showing he's not max special attack, as he has HP, which is like, okay, I didn't calculate at that point, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. Katara will just go down, he has some HP, but Giga Drain and the Earthquake should still kill here. So he is just spamming psychic at this point, and Tangrowth's just going to get off a Giga Drain, like I said, and we only do 24%, and I'm like, this isn't adding up correctly, like that's doing a lot, or it's not doing anything at all, when it should be doing more. But I'm like, I'm looking at the calc still, I'm like, okay, Earthquake should be close this time. So I went and clicked it, because I still wasn't thinking of like his HP investment, and that didn't kill, and I was very confused, because it should have, even with the amount of HP you could have had in order to outspeed Latios, and still have the amount of special attack damage he could. So I did calcs afterwards, and I know Showdown does not mess up like this. The only way is ALAKA-WHAT could have done all that if it was 252 in every stat except special attack, to where it was, you know, a little lowered so it wouldn't seem too fishy. But, basically he sent me the set for ALAKA-WHAT. He only had 4 speed investment, so Latios would have still gotten the outspeed with the Choice Scarf, because he was Scarf Zam as well. But he only had 4 speed investment, he basically nothing, because he was modest, I believe. So there's no way his ALAKA-WHAT could have outsped my Latios without the actual different investment than what he sent me. Or if taking that skull damage, he had to be 252 HP and 252 SPDF. To take that earthquake damage, he had to be 252 HP and 252 defense. So I'm like, this doesn't add up at all. So I asked the person in charge if he could confront Friesh on this, because he did the calcs himself, the commissioner, and he realized it didn't work out either. And instead of getting a yes or a no, he got a that's weird. So apparently that's how we're going to move on from this point. I like Friesh as a dude, like I really do. I have fun talking to him. But I know Showdown doesn't mess up like this, so I'm just going to believe that it was a 252 Zam, just because I'm going to go with it. Until I see Showdown mess up like this, because out of all my time playing Showdown, it's never been like this. Then I'll say my B, but as of right now, I'm still thinking that's a 252 Zam. So we're going to move on from there. It's a loss that I'm not really accepting, but I still could have won it at one point if I wanted to stall, but I'm at my reasons of how I couldn't have won that if my Lodic just tried to recover off. But, you know, he's a whack Zam, so how was I supposed to know that? But, it's okay. Just one loss. It's only a -1 differential. I'm just going to get over it and move on. But I just wanted to point out how none of it made any sense, because I knew my win advantage at that point, and when it wasn't adding up, I was beyond confused. But that'll be it for me this week. Hopefully we can bounce back and get a win, and like we should be 4-0 as of the next week. But make sure to sub, like, share, deuces.